and welcome to another episode of Lexx Education, and not just any extra episode. It's the final results from the GCSE era. With me, as always, is whooping Ron. Woo!
Yeah!
We did it, Ron. We got here. We made it.
We got to the end. We started recording A-Level yesterday, and it's good to be back in the swing of things and say goodbye to GCSE. What a time. What a time for Lexx Education.
I'm very proud of this podcast, Ron. We just keep going and going and going.
We do. Nothing will stop
rad
us.
Dudes.
We had the GCSE look back.
That's going out next week.
But we recorded recently. Okay, spoilers for a moment that we didn't bring up. But I remembered the other day, that was one of my faves. Do you remember when those people tried to get us to sell those dildos?
Yeah.
That was one of my favourite moments ever. That was so... When she emailed me back while we were recording.
I can't believe we didn't follow them up. We could be millionaires by now.
I'm sure we still could.
I think it would bring the Lexx Education community closer together, knowing we were all pleasuring ourselves with the same dildos.
We'll start a new
with a little
Discord.
rat face on the side of it.
That's like the rampant rabbit, but it's like the rampant rat.
The randy rat. Yeah. Well, weirdly, Ron, we had another email this week, which, this one really pissed me off. I had this email that said, "Dear Lexx Education," as if that's our name. I hope you're doing well. I came across your podcast channel and was blown away by the incredible work you're doing. So much so that you don't understand our names. And then basically just tried to sell us a guest for the podcast who's super into science. And then it signed it from somebody who signs themselves as a podcast guest agent. Their whole job is getting people places on podcasts. It's just you have one job. You couldn't have listened to a single 30-second segment of the podcast to see that A, we don't have guests, and B, what the fuck is your guest going to do on our podcast?
That's an automated email.
I know, but it's a pointless automated email.
Yeah.
Stupid and annoying.
Yeah. I don't know who's going God, I wish I could have a guest for my podcast. Literally any guest.
Yeah.
You're going to want something to talk about. I think we've had a few like that. Yeah.
This one was science related. It's somebody's got a science book out or something or other, but still, it just bugged me, Ron. Bugged me a lot. I did a face mask yesterday, Ron.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, do you want to see a picture of me in a gold face mask?
Oh, sure.
I look kind of rad. Sister of the podcast, older sister of the podcast, not regular featurette, younger sister of the podcast, gave it to me for Christmas.
Oh, you look like the Tin Man from the Marvel films.
Yeah.
You know who I mean?
Yeah.
The guy.
Yeah, I know who you mean.
The one.
Paul
yeah.
Bettany?
Paul Bettany. Yes. Silas.
Is he called Silas? Ugh.
No, he's called Silas in the Da Vinci Code.
Oh.
He's that
He's that weird monk, isn't
that
he?
freaky little monk.
Yeah. I was trying to stay up really late last night to see if I'd have the energy to drive home tonight after the show. And so I thought, I'm going to do this little face mask thing, because I got a load of face masks for Christmas and I never quite get round to doing them. And so I was like, here, it's the perfect time. I'm going to edit an episode of Lexx Ed and sit with my face mask on. But I didn't know if that gold bit was meant to be on my skin or facing out. So I don't know if I did it right, but I don't feel any different this morning.
No. So, I always find with face masks that you feel good for about 5 minutes, and then it goes away.
Yeah. I liked having
Do you know
it
what
on.
makes your skin feel amazing?
What?
A sauna.
Oh, yeah, I love a sauna.
I love a sauna.
Let's go on a Lexx Ed trip to a sauna.
No.
Okay. I've also got these little star things that are supposed to go under your eyes. Might try those out tonight.
They're very 90s.
Yeah. Brightening vitamin C hydrogel under eye masks. Don't know what they're supposed to do, but no. I'm excited. Okay, Ron. So listen, people are gonna listen to the physics results now. It's the final results. I think it's one of those episodes where we do slightly get to the end and just end it. But don't worry, next week's episode is a full roundup. It is a graduation episode, a big kiss goodbye to GCSE. It's lovely and fun and excellent. And we'll have a proper examination of what these results meant.
Yeah, it's going to feel like we didn't do enough ceremony and whatnot for the end of exams. But I cannot stress how much it felt like we were doing the exams forever and would be doing the exams forever. So it felt like there wasn't really time for pomp and ceremony.
Yeah, we were tired and hungry and I probably needed a wee. So go forth, enjoy, be proud of me. See you afterwards. Okay, Ron. So I really thought physics went pretty well. Just to jump back into an intro from a couple of months ago, did it really not?
Why don't we unpeel that onion and cry together?
Let's unpeel this onion. I had a feeling in my bones. Right, let me just find the exam paper. There it is. Yeah. How are you, Ron?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. How are you?
Oh, yeah. Do you know what I am actually, Ron? Is very happy because I have been organising my house.
Fucking finally. You've been needing to get your house in order in a long time.
I know, and I've been doing it. And you know how much I love kitchen bobbish?
Gnocchi! Shut up.
Look at this new kitchen bobbish that I've bought.
There's shelves for the fridge as well. Oh, a lazy Susan.
A lazy Susan in my fridge for the top shelf.
Look at that chutney in there.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That's great kitchen bobbish, don't you think?
That's really good.
A lazy Susan for the top shelf of the fridge. So now all the cans of pickle and beer and wine that just sit up there and we never know what's at the back, they just spin around for us.
Beautiful. I mean, this is even more impressive than the cupboard shelves, the cupboard steps, which I already
I've
love.
also got some cupboard drawers now. That's very exciting. I've
Gnocchi.
rearranged and tidied. I cleaned every single inside cupboard in the kitchen. Got rid of everything that we didn't need. Then Tom dropped a bowl of sugar into one of my cupboards. So that cupboard needs cleaning again. But then yesterday, I did the dining room as well. Went through all of the board games that we have. And everything that's not a two-player game that me and Tom are not likely to play of an evening, we have moved to the spare room. And now we have a whole spare cupboard in this thing. And all Child of the Podcast stuff just goes in that cupboard.
That's real nice.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to being back at my flat. I haven't been at my flat for a long time.
She just knotted the microphone.
Yeah, she's dumb. And I want to organise things. I have all blank. One of my favourite bits of Christmas is like you get all this stuff and then you're like, where am I going to put this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've had a great time with that. One of the difficult things this Christmas is Child of the Podcast got an amazing kitchen for Christmas. And it's epic. But she cooks like a drunk spaniel.
Oh, like me?
Oh my God, she's like you. Like every bowl, everything. And obviously, because I'm a people pleaser, I've been giving her loads of stuff from the actual kitchen. So she's got little dishes of pasta. She had some risotto for a while until Tom said no more risotto. You two have thrown rice all over the house. And her ice creams that you got her fit in really well with the kitchen thing.
Yeah, that's real good.
It just means I spend all day trying to make this kitchen look gorgeous and beautiful and cute. And then she comes in and just fucking pizzas everywhere. It's a nightmare.
She is cool, though.
We've been playing Grinch a lot lately, which is where I wrap all her toys up in a blanket and walk around with them. And then she has to follow me being Cindy Lou Who trying to get them back. It's a good game.
Yeah, that's good. I liked our Grinch episode.
I loved the Grinch episode. The thing with the Christmas episodes is because everybody's having stupid Christmas, we don't get much feedback on them, but hey, I love them.
Yeah. Anywho, should we do this, Laura?
Yeah, because I really felt like this was my best chance of getting an 8.
Well, so question 1, we jumped in with wind turbines.
Wind turbine.
First question was some maths, which you got right. And
Yes. Oh, you said right, like in the wrong notification tone.
No. You got it right. It was 1200 watts was the amount of mean power needed for one home.
Actually, it's kind power when it's wind.
Hey. And then we were asked, suggest 2 reasons why the wind power may not have been able to meet a high demand for energy on a day. Classic example of the very sort of tepid way that you answer a lot of questions in exams. The first answer you gave was, it was perhaps not a windy day.
Maki! It was a windy day in Brighton yesterday, I'll tell you that for nout.
And then...
Today's glorious, though.
Yeah, same here, actually.
Maki! Horrid little pig. Fat pig! Stop it.
And then...
Hey, if we get enough Patreon subscribers, we could hire a studio to record in that wasn't full of a menagerie of arseholes.
Yeah, but where are we going to get 100 times more Patreon subscribers?
2025 is our year, man. This is the year that the vast majority of people are going to realise that what they've been hankering for is not 2 bros sitting casually chatting bro stuff. It's some siblings with vague issues pretending to do science badly.
Answer 2 you gave, also very tepid. There may not have been enough wind farms built. But these answers did get you 2 marks for that question. So we're at 100%.
So I have done well on this episode. You just don't like the way I've done well. Also, what's going on with the back of your hair? You've got like a real flock of seagulls thing going on there.
It shan't be tamed.
You've got Crumpet Mountain growing out of the back of your head.
There we go. Some of the energy of the wind farm is used to rotate a wind turbine is wasted. An engineer oils the mechanical parts. Explain how oiling would affect the efficiency of the wind turbine. Laura, you said if you oil the mechanisms in the wind turbines, there is less friction between cogs or interlocking parts, so they can move against each other more easily. The less friction they have... Ow, Gnocchi! The less friction...
Ow. Maki, shut up! Oh my god! It's supposed to be New Year, New Us! We're so close to being professional podcasters, but no one's told the animals!
Bag of Bones wouldn't bark all the way through our podcast.
No! Oh god. I have to go on holiday in 2 days.
You're gonna be fine.
I'm not.
Anyway, yeah. Then you said the less friction they have when moving against each other, the less energy required. So for this one, I was able to give you 1 mark out of 3.
Aww, said loads of stuff. I didn't say so.
Well, the thing is, you didn't really talk about efficiency. The mark I gave you was for saying there was less friction. But you didn't talk about energy waste. You just said that there would be less energy. So, yeah, that was a 1 out of 3 guy.
Damn it.
Next one. The next one you got full marks on though, because it was in most homes. There are many different electrical devices. Explain why people should be encouraged to use energy efficient electrical devices. You said because energy efficient electrical devices use less energy, so are less of a drain on the national grid and require less energy production. This also benefits the user because it will be cheaper for them to use all their devices. If it's dirty energy, then it's less carbon dioxide. 2 marks for that, Laura. You got 1 for minimize the energy, minimize the energy demand, and 1 for that they use less energy. So, tippity top. Now, from the tippity top to the bippity boptom, that's question 1 done. 7 out of 9. We then
I'm happy with that.
put a pin in being happy, because then we move on to question 2, where a malformed hand holds a rock. Figure 2 shows a rock found by a student on a beach. To help identify the type of rock, the student took measurements to determine its density. Describe a method the student could use to determine the density of the rock.
Oh, yeah, I don't know how to do this.
Now, you went fucking bananas.
That's fair. This is like if I suddenly said to you, do a backflip.
No.
Like, your whole body would just go, well, I don't know what direction to start moving. I should have started this years ago. This isn't possible. I don't even know how to begin. Why is no one helping me? I'm going to hurt myself. That is how I felt.
Laura, there are
this question.
crows that are pretty close to being able to do this.
No, because a crow would pick it up and fly up in the air and drop it, but I can't do that.
No, crows understand buoyancy. Now, you said first...
I understand the buoyancy.
You said, first of all...
Here's my breakfast dance, buddy.
You said, first of all, we need to find the weight... we need to weigh the rock and find out the mass on some scales and find out its weight in kilograms. Next, we need to determine the volume of the rock. To do that, we measure its length, depth, and height and calculate the volume using external measurements. Then,
yeah, this all sounds good so far.
Well, that only works if the rock is a perfect rectangle, like cuboid, doesn't it?
No. You could maths out the volume even when it's a weird shape. That's what maths is for.
No, that's not true. Then we calculate the density by dividing the weight by the volume to give our answer in grams per centimetres cubed. I gave you 1 out of 6 for that. So what you need to do, measure the mass using scales. Great. Then...
Did I say that?
Yes.
Yes.
Then, to find out the volume of it, put water in a measuring cylinder, put the rock in, see how much it goes up.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah. You never heard of Archimedes with the crown?
Yes, Ron, I've heard of all these people. They don't pop into my head in a little line going, do you need to use my suggestion, when I'm given a rock and told to find out what it is.
No, but I'm just saying that's a really famous story to find out the volume of something.
What, when it got in the bath?
No, that's when he worked out buoyancy. He was asked to work out the volume of a golden crown because a king...
Oh, I haven't heard this story.
Yeah, okay. Well, he did this, basically. And then it's final volume minus the initial volume of the water. That equals the volume of the rock. And then, mass divided by volume. And you get your answer from there. So, just some banana stuff from there. Question 3 picks up a little bit from there because you calculate the maximum density of a type of rock by adding 0.1 and taking it away from a number.
That felt like a startlingly easy question.
Yeah, I mean, it's all been easy so far.
Shut up.
Then...
Only if you've heard of Archimedes' crown, which you never taught me.
No, because we're not doing history, we're doing science.
I wish we were doing history. I know I say it every day, but...
Yeah, me too.
History's so interesting and useful, whereas science is not. Agreed.
You then worked out that chalk and flint could have been the rock that the student with the malformed hand had. That was correct. Then for 2 marks, you were asked why the student took why taking multiple measurements improves the accuracy of anything. You said do it twice in case of mistakes and reduce human error in the proceedings.
I was happy that I said human error. I thought that might get me a mark.
It did not. A mean can be calculated, which reduces the effect of random errors. If there's human error, doing it multiple times, you're going to have that human error every time.
I'm going to go and put Tom's dressing gown on. I'm very cold, and I think that's why I'm getting these answers wrong.
Okay.
Ooh, you've got a dressing gown on too.
For good
This
measure,
looks like a business dressing gown.
I've put on Judith's dressing gown.
Oh, Judith's got a formal dressing gown.
Yeah, it's for going to the spa.
Oh.
Anywho, so 3 out of 10 for question 2.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Question 2 can bite my knockers.
Question 3 was about pavement tiles that generate electricity when you step on them.
We both hated this question.
Yeah, this question sucked. You correctly...
And all it did was light up the pavement.
You correctly worked out that...
Light up the swamp so I can find her.
You correctly
What's that
identified...
quote from, Ron?
I'd say the rescuers.
Yes! Solid narrowing down of which Disney films happen in swamps.
Yeah. Also, you
Could have been Princess and the Frog.
startling resemblance to Madame Medusa.
Oh my god, I love Madame Medusa. Madame Medusa's pawn shop boutique.
One of my core
Snoops.
memories
you see
is
that,
her pulling her eyelashes off.
Yeah, I love that bit. Oh, I didn't know at the time about fake eyelashes, so that bit was so weird. I thought mine would come off in a line if I did that. Did you watch that reel I sent on Instagram to the siblings group yesterday?
No.
The guy that's perfectly recreated Cusco's intro.
Oh,
to
I did
Emperor's
watch
New
that.
Groove.
Yeah, that was fun.
What a legend.
Yeah.
We should find that man and befriend him.
Yeah, I haven't seen that film in a very long time.
Cusco, doo-doo-doo. Because we're going to Disney in 2 days, can't wait. Hallelujah. I Googled what films do you need to have seen before you go to Disneyland Paris, and I've been forcing Child of the Podcast to watch them. So we've been watching a lot of old Bobbish. But because I love the Ratatouille ride so much, I've been trying to get her very hyped about Ratatouille. So I have been forcing her to fall in love with that one.
I like Ratatouille, and it goes well with her kitchen. Maybe you could get her a small rat to sit on her head.
She's quite into it, and that's a great idea, Ron. She likes all the slapstick in it, so it's good.
Yeah, Linguini's funny.
Yeah. He also looks a lot like Matt from The Noise Next Door, so that's really working for us to just tell her it's Matt.
Yeah, and Matt does come across animated quite a lot.
Yeah, and slapsticky, you know?
Yeah.
He's a bendy Linguini kind of guy.
Yeah, what's the English version of Linguini? Chips?
Bread.
Soldiers. He's kind of like a soldier.
Yeah.
Anyway, you picked off the list the correct...
Back to the pavement.
Yeah. Gnocchi, go away. The correct equation, which was P equals V times I. Then you were asked, when a person walks on a tile, the potential difference is 40 volts. The power output is 4.4 watts. Calculate the current in the tile. You did this correctly, Laura, earning yourself 3 marks.
Yes!
You then correctly identified which equation works out efficiency, useful power over total power. And then, Gnocchi, can you shut your business? Then
Your cat's worse than my dog.
you worked out correctly how much the useful power output of the LED light was, Laura. So
when you said I sucked at this exam, what you meant was I had one bad question in a barrel of glorious apples.
why? I'm gonna. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, it was one bad question, but you did get 8 out of 8 on that one, Laura. Well
8?
done.
Have I ever got full marks on a question before?
Yeah, quite a few times, I think.
Oh, okay then. Well, I'm still going to celebrate it now, as if it was the first time. For the first time in physics, I'm a genius, I'm the queen. Is that the cat or Judith?
The cat. She's got the zoomies.
She's so happy for me.
All right, Laura, question 4. This was the one, an absolute classic of the GCSE exam. There's some liquid in a container, and we've got to insulate it. We've got to measure.
We love these kind of things. Figure 4.
Figure 4.1 is that one that I was wrong on, and you were right about independent variables. So, well done.
I hope I get 2 points for that, for staying right in the face of not even peer pressure, because you're not my peer. You're like my senior in this instance. Senior pressure.
Yeah, you do get 2 points.
Oh, I hope I get 4 points.
No, you get the 2 that you asked for.
I stood strong in my beliefs against your naysaying.
Yeah, you got the marks. Now,
I deserve more marks.
question
Having
4.2,
spine.
you were asked what the resolution of thermometer B was. You just said the number that it says. Thermometer B. So in terms of like maths questions,
What's it one, like the LCD? Like,
yes.
how the fuck could you work that out?
Gnocchi, leave it alone.
Like 4K? Is that what it was?
No. Come here. Can you stop running around, noncing about the place? No, so the resolution of something is basically sort of how accurate it can possibly be. So for this thermometer, it goes down to just 0.4. So the resolution is 0.1 because that's the smallest amount that it can change by.
Oh.
If it said 87.40, then the resolution would be 0.01 because that's the smallest amount that it can change by.
Got ya. Well, I didn't know that.
No, so the answer was 0.1. You said 87.4. 4.3.
That's just one tiny mark, though, so, you know, we can't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah. Thermometer A is more likely to be misread. Thermometer A is like a classic, like, mercury going up a tube thermometer. Give one reason why. You said...
Imagine putting mercury up your penis. Horrible.
Why would you do that?
They used to think that was a cure for syphilis.
Ugh.
Yikes!
You said it only offers full integer measure points.
That sounds
So,
very clever.
When the temperature falls between...
Integer? Who's pulling out integer?
Falls between a full degree Celsius, you have to interpret how far, so there's more room for our good friend, human error.
Human error!
So the 2 answers that it wants you to say is viewing angle affects measurement or parallax error.
What the fuck is a parallax now?
But luckily in the extra information it says allow judgment needed in reading the position of the liquid in the thermometer. Also it says allow the level may be between the lines.
Great. I said both of those.
Yeah.
9 points.
1 point for that.
Out of 1, though, just for the listeners' benefit there.
Yes.
1 out of 1. 100%, otherwise known as top marks, top dog, top cat, top business.
4.4,
Topping,
you had to
Topping and
calculate...
Butch? What's Topping and Butch? Is that a comedy duo?
Sounds like
Anyway.
a Brighton thing, I don't know. 4.4, you had to calculate the mass of the water in the can using the physics equation sheet.
I reckon I did this.
You did not. Unfortunately, it's really difficult to write down sort of your calculations when you do maths.
You can't catch a genius.
No. So you put 2.5 kilograms. The answer was 0.125.
Well, those are very different.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this. I remember it seeming too big, so I just arbitrarily divided it by 1,000 instead.
And not by enough.
No.
You needed to divide it by a further 50, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, lessons were learned.
No, 20. Yeah, so 0 marks for that. And then, again, in this sort of tepid couscous poison way that you like to answer questions in these exams. Material. You were then asked to explain two materials that insulate the water differently, basically. Compare the thermal conductivity of them. You said material Y has a lower thermal conductivity ability than material X. The water took longer to cool when material Y was used, showing that material Y was not as efficient as material X when conducting heat from the water to the air. Material Y is what we call more insulating, less conducting. Which is one of my favourite moments of the whole exam.
What an intellectual. I can see why I thought this was going well, because to me, I'm using all the right words. Integer, great. I'll go to bed happy now.
It's what we call more insulating. So you got 1 mark out of 2 for that, for saying that it has a higher thermal conductivity. You did not talk about energy transfer, so you do not get the 2nd mark, unfortunately. So 4 out of 9 for question 4.
Okay, it's slipping, everyone. It's slipping. It's not where we wanted to be at this point.
No, it's not. We then moved on to question 5, which was about static electricity and rubbing a plastic rod with a cloth.
All the important things that our adolescents need to know before they leave school.
Edit break while the cat runs around.
This is a fucking mess, isn't it?
A student, explain why the cloth becomes positively charged. You said because the cloth passed its electrons to the rod. Static electricity builds up on the rod. This was 1 mark out of 3. You needed to say electrons are passed to the cloth from the cloth to the rod. Electrons are negatively charged, so there are more positive charges than negative charges on the cloth. You got a little way there, but you just didn't fully explain it.
Sounds like me.
Yeah. Right. So the next one was about a fucking hell.
God, everybody's having a mare on the 2nd of January in Brussels.
We then talked about a negative.
Is this everybody going, guys? It wasn't a hangover yesterday.
I
think my legs are falling
actually
off.
dead.
We had a good moment yesterday, so we just went to some friends for New Year's Eve. I had quite a quiet one. But Tom had a few beers, and so we went and got McDonald's breakfast on the drive home in the morning, and I was waiting in the car while him and Charlie the podcast went in to get one, and there was just an ambulance parked next to me, and I really liked the idea that they were topping up on McDonald's breakfasts to use in their critical care that morning.
It's very funny. What did you get from McDonald's?
I didn't have anything, but I'd got up and had sourdough with avocado and egg, true, because I was in Hove for New Year, you know.
Sure.
Tom had some sort of sandwich, and Charlie the podcast had a hash brown. What is happening? Are you tying that cat to yourself?
No, she's caught in my fucking headphones. God, you're a nightmare beyond
belief. This is
belief.
the perfect goodbye to GCSEs. Are you sure it's worth being back together with Judith for this cat?
She's actually been really sweet recently.
She's an attention-seeking little dickhead. As soon as she sees the microphone, she's like, guys.
Yeah, that is true.
Who needs my butthole?
Anyway, so there's a negatively charged plastic rod on the scale. They put another plastic rod near the one that's on the scale. You had to determine why for 3 marks. The first thing that you said when we were answering this question, Laura, was more electrons jump off the top rod onto the bottom.
I believe I retracted that, and the jury is not allowed to use that information. That was stricken from the record.
It was stricken from the exam, but we can still have a good laugh.
No.
So you said the charged plastic rod repels the other plastic rod, causing it to push onto the scales and make it heavier. it got you 1 mark out of 3.
Why?
So you needed to say there was an additional downwards force on the balance because the rod is negatively charged, and like charges repel, or negative charges repel each other.
But you can infer that from the information I gave.
That's not how exams work.
Exams are thick.
And if anything, I'm being quite generous anyway, because you said it pushes
You've never
down.
been generous in your life.
Right, I'll take away the mark then, shall I?
No, you give me the mark.
Well, then say thank you for being generous.
No.
Then I'm taking away the mark.
No!
Say thank you for being generous.
Thank you for being generous, Ron.
Right.
I want my mark.
Because you didn't talk about forces, but you did say push. So I inferred that you were talking about a force there.
I knew that from my work on lab and at university.
Then you were asked... The balance has a 0 error. We've learned so much about errors.
I love about 0 errors.
The 0 error is not important in this experiment. Say why? And it's because only...
Did it?
Yep, you got it completely right. You said, because the measurement themselves don't matter. It's the change in measurement that is important and stays
Like
the same no matter
isn't it?
what the start and end measurement was. That one, you sounded very sort of professional.
Zen.
The next one,
Very Jesus in India.
you asked, a negatively charged rod is held near an earth conductor.
Negatively charged rod sounds like a manager at a firm.
Explain why a spark jumps between the negatively charged rod and the earth conductor. Now,
Oh, negatively charged rod's going for his lunch break. Quick, everybody, party in the break room.
for this one, you said, because all the electrons want to get more space, so they're attracted to the earth and they fizz through the air, making a spark to get to the conductor.
Doesn't sound good, does it, on the face of things?
I gave you 2 out of 3.
Brilliant.
Yeah, you didn't talk about potential difference, but you did.
I hope the mark scheme specifically says they must mention fizzing.
It must fizz through the air.
If it doesn't fizz, it's not correct.
No, it just in the extra information it says allow fizz.
Does it?
No, of
No.
course not. Oh man, I was fucking with Mum so much over Christmas. We played loads of card games. I was often doing the scores for Rage, and every single time she asked me something, I just lied to her. She's like, how many points am I on? 110 on round 3. Don't know how you did it, Mum. And she'd be like, what, really? Every time. What did I say I'd get? 6. There's only 5 cards left. Oh, so fun. 5 out of 10 for question 5, Laura.
Ugh. All right.
Rotten. Question 6. The rod.
I really thought I'd done so well.
No, question 6 was a low point as well, actually, to be fair.
I feel like we need to have had the lowest point already if I'm going to score well on this.
Yeah, but again, never said you scored well on this.
I split my lip in my sleep last night, Ron, and it really hurts.
Stop doing
What?
that.
What?
Figure 8 shows how electricity is supplied to consumers via our good friend the National Grid.
I hate these national grid bits.
Yeah, you're not good at them.
No.
So this, you got completely fucking backwards. So you asked why a transformer is put in between the power plant and the wires that go on the pylons. And you said...
Yeah, make it safer.
Yeah, you said it's for safety.
Yeah.
It transfers the power to a more transportable, brackets, safely format. So it can travel in cables in a less powerful form. So birds and passers-by don't get hurt by cables. Unless
I didn't say that.
You did.
I did not say birds and passers-by.
and less electricity is lost en route, and there's less wear and tear on the cables, and it doesn't hum too loudly when you're near the pylons. And then the next question is why there's another transformer on the other side before.
Hang on. How many did I get for that?
There's another question about why there's another transformer before it goes into houses, to which you said steps it back up again to a useful high power energy that's useful to a house, to a 230 volt format that's good for UK appliances, safe to be in the walls but powerful enough to make a cup of tea.
Yeah?
No, it's way... The energy that's in the pylons, like going through there, that's like one wire that needs to supply hundreds of buildings and houses and stuff. Why would it be really gentle there? I mean, yeah, sure. Who's thinking about the birds and passers-by? And then we're pumping it into people's houses, so we're like, okay, we'll make it really dangerous now. Fucking insane. You got 0 marks for either of them.
Well, now that you say it like that...
Anywho, the next one.
So how many marks? Oh, I just dropped 6 marks in a oneer.
Yeah, in a 2er. We were then asked about the town of Hornsdale in Australia, which is supplied by a huge battery. You had to work out the charge flow, Laura, to 3 sig figs.
Younger sister of the podcast has just put in the siblings group, these stupid things aren't to slow you down anymore. They're just trying to damage the bottoms of cars. Mum on speed bumps.
Jesus. That's very funny. Stop checking the WhatsApp. You got this one right, Laura.
Yay! God bless birds and passers-by on the pylons of Stephen.
4 marks.
Yes.
So 4 out of 10 for question 6.
I'm so much better at the maths than the explaining in this one.
Yeah, for now. And then...
Why are you such a glass half empty kind of a guy?
Well... question 7. Alpha particles, beta particles, and gamma rays are types of nuclear radiation. What does an alpha particle consist of, was the question. You correctly said 2 protons and 2 neutrons. I don't see how you got that, but I didn't write help. It doesn't...
No, I just knew that. It came up in the revision that I did.
Oh,
you know, I
nice.
told you I did some revision. That was one of the things that came up.
Yeah, you then had to work out...
I tried, Ron. I studied properly.
Very proud. You then had to... yes. So then it was about krypton decaying into rubidium, emitting a beta particle, which...
Don't think I got this one right.
You did not.
No.
Well, you got... you had to say what the mass number of krypton is, and then what the proton number of rubidium was. You got the mass number correct. You correctly identified that losing an electron is not going to affect the mass. However... you thought that it would lower the number of protons, whereas of course it increases the number of protons.
Of course.
Because the charges have to balance. So a proton's plus and an electron's negative. So by getting rid of that negative charge, you're creating another proton in the krypton. In the rubidium.
Right.
Then we had a 5 marker. About
never my favourite place to be.
About internal contamination of the human body. Means radioactivity materials inside the human body. Explain how the risk from internal contamination is different to the risk for external irradiation by a source of alpha radiation. You said it's inside, so it's closer to your vital organs. Sorry. I'm going to try and get through this without cracking up. It's inside, so it's closer to your vital organs.
inside the body, you're making new cells. So if there's contamination in the creation hub, then they're all getting fucked up, so it's worse. Gets in your bloodstream. No skin to bounce it off. Body doesn't necessarily fight it off.
5 marks, let's move on.
Laura, what's the creation hub?
Where the radioactivity is being created.
Now, I don't know what happens if you swear in an exam. But I've not really punished you for that. But there was just very little else in the... So the marks that you could have got is alpha radiation has low penetrating ability.
Not
Alpha
very alpha.
Alpha radiation is stopped by skin.
I said skin. No skin to bounce it off.
But that doesn't talk...
One.
No, that does
One.
not talk about...
I said that.
You said no skin to bounce it off.
Yeah.
But you don't say alpha radiation is stopped by skin.
That is alpha radiation. Is
No,
it?
it's not good enough.
Yeah. 1.
Internally, alpha radiation is absorbed by living tissue/organs.
I'm calling a VAR on that one.
This one, I gave you that mark.
Can I have the skin one, please?
No.
Please.
No.
Please, because I did say about skin.
But, it's not...
Please.
No, it's not good enough. Gets in your bloodstream, no skin to bounce it off. Body doesn't necessarily fight it off. That was the complete sentence.
Skin.
Just writing skin isn't good enough, Laura. Anyway, alpha radiation is highly ionizing. Contamination will cause greater risk of harm to cells, tissues, organs, and DNA. I mean, I'm not giving you a mark for they're all getting fucked up. So.
That one I'm not going to contest. But I do think the skin one I have got.
3 marks out of 8 for question 7.
Embarrassing for you.
Question 8, Laura.
This one.
We're again heating a liquid in a beaker and measuring things.
I love to heat liquid in a beaker.
8.1, what measuring instrument should be used to measure the volume of water? It's our old friend, the measuring cylinder. And we got a mark for that. Then we had to work out what the hazard in this investigation was. It's, of course, the boiling water.
Great. Hazard analysis critical control point. That's the HACCP song.
Then you had to work out...
Was that a little in your mouth burp?
Yeah, my throat just did a thing.
Yeah, that's cute.
Then we had to work out the specific latent heat of vaporization of water by the student's data and give the unit. I don't know where you went wrong on this, but you were out by a factor of 1,000.
Oh.
So I gave you 2 marks out of 5.
Can't believe even maths is letting me down.
Yeah. Then I spent ages marking the next 2 because it was really, really hard to work out what you were talking about. Then we had to explain...
There's a lot of microphone noise. Are you rubbing up against it or something?
Sorry, I was just leaning on the table. Then we had to explain... the question was, some thermal energy was transferred to the surroundings while the water was being heated. Explain how this affected the student's value for the specific latent heat of vaporization of water. You said their value would be slightly higher than the true value due... No, that one was fine. Then the true value due to heat loss to the surroundings. 2 marks, no props. The next one was the one that was... some of the water evaporated before its temperature reached 100 degrees. Explain how this affected the student's value for the specific latent heat of vaporization of water. You said that would give them a slight inaccuracy on the lower end of the scale due to that water requiring a slightly lower heat than the true specific latent heat. What do you mean by this lower end of the scale?
In the scale of how big errors can be, probably.
Right.
I'll be honest, Ron, I no longer understand the question.
Okay.
So,
I gave you 1 out of 2 for that one.
I think that seems like a fair compromise.
Yeah.
It sounds like at the time I knew what I was talking about. Right now, I don't have the foggiest. It's like a different person was in my brain talking to you.
7 out of 11 for that question. Question 9, a 5-marker maths question. This was about Judith.
It's Judith going up the stairs.
Judith running all knees up the stairs.
Judith.
You had to work out the power output of Judith.
I did.
Which you
I hope I
did.
got it right.
Correctly.
Yes.
735 watts. So that's banked you a steal of 5 big
ones.
marks, which you sorely need.
Is there a lift in her new flat?
No, but she's on the first floor.
Oh, that's much better than that old one in the roof.
And we can open the windows here.
Oh, glorious. I can't wait to come and stay.
You were then asked, the total power output of Judith was greater than the answer to 9.1. Suggest 2 reasons why. You said...
She got hot.
That's exactly what you said. You said she got hot. Her body heated up. Then you said she made noises as she went to... brackets, sound energy.
That is not wrong, probably.
It does say ignore references to sound.
Ah!
But yeah.
But she grunted on every step.
I did give you the mark for getting hot.
What was the other one then?
Girl increases her kinetic energy as well as her gravitational potential. Some energy is wasted in her muscles, or some energy transferred as thermal energy to the surroundings. So it was a generous mark.
That's stupid.
You then had to... a boy took longer to run up the stairs. I think we said that was me.
Yeah.
But the power output was the same. Why? Because his mass is greater. It is.
He's a big, strong boy with a massive BMI, and the examiner making him run up the stairs until he stops being such a drain on the economy. That's what I've learned from GCSEs.
7 out of 8 for that one, Laura.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Judith.
Question 10 was about a toy aeroplane being launched into the sky.
This one sucked. I talked to Tom about this one for a while afterwards.
What did he say?
He said something about distance over time equals speed. And I said that didn't help with the spring.
Right. You had to work out the maximum speed of the toy aeroplane just after it was launched. I didn't write down all of the all of the calculations that you did, but your answer was 0.2324 meters per second. Do you understand what that means?
Like 20 centimeters a second.
Yeah,
That seems good.
that's 5 seconds to travel a meter.
Oh, that's so slow.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
It was 36.
What, meters per second?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, 6 actually, rather. 6.
Oh, well, that's a bit more beastly. Beastly?
That's a bit more beastly.
An airplane's gonna kill me. I'm fairly confident there will be a website online somewhere that's called Mucus Fetish, and we could get more money selling this episode on there than we have for the entirety of the Patreon. There's going to be so much elevator music in this episode to cover all the spluttering.
Yeah. You really broke down there.
If anybody wants the uncut version for some kind of personal punishment, let me know.
So I've just realised, actually, Laura, you get a mark for the unit, which you got right.
Yay!
So you got 1 out of 6 for that.
Brilliant.
You were then asked, complete the sentence. As the aeroplane moves upwards through the air, there is a decrease in the blank energy of the aeroplane. You said potential. It's moving up. The potential energy is increasing. It's the kinetic energy that's decreasing. So you biffed that one. Big whiff. Give one factor which would increase the distance of the toy aeroplane travels horizontally before hitting the ground. You said angle that it is released at.
Yeah.
The mark scheme says ignore factors without a change specified. I.e., you'd have to say increase the angle.
More coughing!
Yeah.
Cough party!
So you got 1 out of 8 for question 10.
Wait, so I didn't get the angle one?
No, because you didn't. You just said the angle that's released at. If I just shot it into the floor because I've changed the angle that it's released at, that doesn't help, does it?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Is that a nose blower?
That's a nose blow as well, yeah. Then we had question
It's
11.
had burp, vomit, coughing, nose blowing,
Did you actually throw
wiping.
up?
Swallowed it back down though. My
That's-
throat feels horrible right now.
That's horrific.
Yeah.
We need to stop. So 11.1, you had to draw a picture of something.
Oh yeah, I did not know how to do this.
No, you did draw something. Oh, it was the circuit symbol for an LED, but you didn't do that. It looks kind of like a play button that's surprised.
Oh.
Then you were asked why do the hair straighteners not run when only switch 2 is closed. You said because there is not a closed circuit that includes the power supply. Gave you a mark for that.
Yes.
Question 3, you did not answer. So you got 0 marks for that. That was just a maths one about power output, but there's 4 marks down the drain. And then 11.4, you were asked to explain what happens to the power output when all of the switches are closed at once. Basically, you've got 6 resistors in parallel. You said the power that the power supply is supplying is now spread across 4 new resistors that have been introduced to the closed circuit. It provides an even amount of power to each resistor, which was not correct.
Oh.
The answer that you would have needed, the total resistance of the circuit decreases, so the current increases, which increases the power for 3 marks. So you got 0 on that one. So another 1 mark for question 11. 50 out of 100, Laura.
Ah.
Do you want to look that up on the chart?
I wish I'd saved this chart each time instead of having to. Yeah, right. AQA, grade boundaries. Physics, higher tier. So it's 100 basically, isn't it? Because we... Oh, okay. That is a 5 again, Ron. 3 marks off a 6. Okay, so numbers to letters GCSE
And 5
grades.
is what you could get in the foundation, right?
Yeah. So basically, I've achieved nothing by going up to higher tier.
No.
This was a total waste of everyone's time.
But you did it.
And it's right between that B and C grade again, Ron.
Yeah. It felt like a C performance, I think.
I really thought I'd done better.
Yeah.
I got like A's for this when I actually did it. I have dumbed so much over the last 30 years.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh well.
I guess you have to do what anybody that got straight C's across the board did in science and pick it up at A level.
We'll catch up the ground there. Laura, next time we'll be doing just like a normal lesson.
Well, no, Ron, because we've got a special episode, got our graduation episode, and then we've got our Valentine's episode, and then we will be starting A level.
Do you want to know what the first topic we're going to cover is?
Yeah.
We could. Do you want to mess up the order? Still biochem, then phys?
Yeah, it's got to be biochem phys.
Then we're going to be doing
That's our password for everything.
one of our favourite topics: monomers and polymers.
Oh, monomer. I wanted to charter the podcast to watch Muppets Christmas Carol, and she didn't because she doesn't like, and I quote, those dark eyes.
Who's she talking about?
Gonzo. But basically anything that's got like a fixed black pupil like that, she didn't like it. So I was like, damn it, but I really want to get her into Muppets. So I found some Swedish chef content. So we have been watching a lot of Poppity-corn de Shrimpy. And she loves it. Chef doesn't have eyes, you see.
I don't want to watch this dark eyes. That's very funny.
Yeah. All right, Ron. Farewell, GCSE.
Sayonara, as Craig Charles would say.
Yeah, we'll have a proper bon voyage in our graduation episode.
Yeah, maybe with guests.
Yeah, we're going to cut loose. Kick off our Sunday juice.
For the final time, for probably about 3 years, pencils down.
Snap your pencils, throw them away. We'll buy new pencils.
Use a pen.
Stick your pencils up your ass. And there we go, Ron. That's it. We're done with exams for like 3 years.
Yes.
Unless we decide to do like a mock situation halfway through A level.
I don't know how it works because of this whole co-teaching thing. But I think what we'll do is maybe what we should do is move the pop quiz feature to main and dot that in every now and again.
Oh, it's interesting. Hey, there'll be a few of you listening and thinking, what's the pop quiz feature? Yeah, you don't know, you jerks, because you're not on the Patreon. Get thee to the Patreon. You're missing out on so much fun stuff. Go to patreon.com/Lexx Education and sign up for as little as £3 a month. Gets you all the content you could ever want. Everything we put out will be available to you. It literally works out to about 30 quid a year. And it makes us extremely happy. You get to join the Discord, which just has the funnest, nicest chat available on the internet.
It's where we really cut loose. It's for the people out there that enjoy the tangents.
Yeah. And for people that want a nice space on the internet to chat to like-minded people where you're not going to get piled on, hey, our Discord is the place.
No sex bots, no right-wingers.
Except me.
Yeah.
I'm the most right-wing.
It's a lovely place. Our top subscribers, I'm about to message them all on Patreon to get their suggestions for episodes that they want to see coming up, which is a perk that you can get at certain tiers.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
And we have got a new lab rat, actually, Ron.
We have. Rum, bum, 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 bum.
We've got a big thank you to Christian Chadwick. Thank you so much for signing up, Christian. Christian is the failed Caesar Milan wannabe in charge of taming the wild beasts that stalk this podcast. He's shit at his job and should be very ashamed. Bad, Christian Chadwick, bad. Go outside. No dreamies for you. You suck. Grr. Sorry that you're bad at the job we gave you, Christian, that you didn't know you were going to get, but please keep Gnocchi under control. The episodes are unlistenable when she's in demon mode. You simply must work harder.
She just wants to be stroked.
So do I, Ron, but I keep it in check for the hour that the podcast is happening. I also want to do a mini pre-shout-out to someone anonymous who is binging along happily, listening to, I think they're about 100 or so episodes in, maybe 70, I can't remember what they said, and says they will become a patron when they have got up to date, which I completely understand. I'm exactly the same with my podcast listening. But in the meantime, they dug out my coffee page, which I'd utterly forgotten I had, had. Got it in pandemic days, and they donated a little something by way of thanks as a sort of like, oh, here's a one-off thing until they want to join up. So much appreciated, anonymous person, and thank you for telling us that you're enjoying it. We like just hearing who's enjoying the podcast.
We do, yeah.
It was quite interesting. I put out a thing on Threads the other day because I listen to a lot of The Rest is History, which I know has some problematic elements to it, but I like it. I enjoy it. And I think I have the skills to listen to it and to still understand. I'm not bowled over by ideas that I don't agree with just because they're coming from somebody who's intelligent sounding. However, a lot of their early episodes are riddled with guests, and I just don't like the ones with guests. So I stuck a thing on Threads going like, does anybody else not like guest episodes of things? And I was overwhelmed with how many people thought I was thinking of changing Lexx Education to being a guest-based format, and were like, I don't think it needs it. I don't think Lexx Ed. And I was like, it's fine, guys. I'm not going to change Lexx Ed. I was just interested in if anybody else felt the same as me.
Well,
we
that's
will
cute.
stick to our one guest a year format on main.
If that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll drop that. Because I do find in the numbers for this that the guest episodes don't get the boost that you'd think they would.
Yeah. I think, yeah. And I really clam up around different people.
You do. You're a clammy boy.
Yeah.
But listen, I think it's the next two Patreon episodes feature younger sister of the podcast, though. And our Scotland special, and then 2 Crimes and a Lie, too.
That's fun.
Yeah.
She's good crack. I don't clam up around her.
No.
I clam open.
She clams angry at me.
Clam down.
All right, folks. Thank you very much for listening and being yourselves. Take care, and we'll see you next week for a bit of a party episode. Bring biscuits.
For the final time, pencils down for GCSE.